this is Jackie Williams and my friend Custard. And this evening, I want to share with you some ideas and projects using the Christmas trees or the Whimsical Christmas Suite. This is hands down my favorite Christmas set this year. I just love the fun, cute, playful images, and I love the colors and I love the sparkle. So I hope you enjoy this as well. So let's go to my desk. So this is the Whimsy and Wonder entire suite of products, and you can buy all of these individually or as an entire collection. And this is the Whimsical Trees stamp set that comes with it. And as you can see, it's a collection of hand-drawn, very playful, cute Christmas images with an adorable font. I love the font on this one. And then we have the dies that match, and you can see that we've got dies that go around the stamped images and then more standalone dies that don't have an image to go with it. You've got little ornaments to go on the trees and stars and some garland that goes around. And one of the things that I've used the most out of this suite is this collection of iridescent snowflakes. Even if you live in an area where it doesn't snow like I do, these are still quite beautiful. They're just these iridescent lacy embellishments. And the great thing is it doesn't involve any die cutting. They just pop out and you have this beautifully detailed embellishment for your projects. And we've also got the Blushing Bride frayed ribbon. I've used this on quite a few videos already. I do love this. I like the color, but also I just love that fun edge on there, and it's soft so it ties nicely. And then we also have these papers. Let me move those into the screen. And these, one side has got this iridescent sheen on it, so it's not silver or gold or copper, it's just called iridescent, and that's really nice. And we've got some very non-traditional Christmas colors. Now this print here you can use as a background, or you can even scissor cut out these little gifts and use those as an element in and of themselves. This print, I wanted to point out that one of these dies actually cuts around the trees, so you can use those as elements on your projects too. All right, now let's move on to some projects. Now this first project idea I've taken right from someone from one of our demonstrator Facebook groups, and it was a very cute and fun idea, something a little bit different. So actually I'm going to turn this way, and we're going to use just a simple post-it note and the hanging ornament stamps and your Memento black ink pad. And what I'm going to do is just place my post-it note here, and then just stamp my ornaments about like this. And then I found with each stamp you'll want to move, oops, I got already a smear. You'll want to move your post-it note as well as move where your stamp is positioned that little bit. Then the next thing I'm going to do is take my Stampin' Write black marker, and see these ornaments where there's just a partial image. I'm just going to take my marker and just draw on a broken edge to these ornaments. And I found this was actually quite easy because it can look like anything. There we go. And then I've used my cat punch and punched my cat out of black, and then we'll go ahead and put this onto the card so that our little cat is looking up at the broken ornaments. And I think I'll put him about here. And then you'll just take your scissors or your trimmer and cut him off, and I'll show you the end result. So you might end up with a card that looks something like this, where you've got just the little kitty looking at the broken ornaments. You can leave it black and white, or I've gone in and colored them a little bit just to add some color. And then you can just keep the rest of your embellishments black and white if you want to. So it's just a really simple but nice Christmas card, and something that little bit different. Now the next idea I want to show you uses this die. And when you die cut this die, you get a tree that looks like this with some different detail on it. But when the negative of the paper ends up looking like this. So what I've done here is I've die cut the tree out once, and then I've die cut the tree a second time, overlapping the first one. So then what we would do next is lay these on top of our printed paper of choice, the Whimsy and Wonder. And you can experiment with some different ones and decide which ones you like best. Or you could use all of them, honestly. In the end, I decided I liked this pink one or possibly this green one the best. In any case, this is actually a remake of a card that I did about 3 Christmases ago. Then we're going to take our tree die cuts and actually put those up on dimensionals and then just offset them over the tree cutouts. And then you've got kind of the foreground and the background, and you have the little paper peeping through, and it's just a really nice template for a card idea. So this is what the finished card that I made looked like. Of course, there's room for variation. So I've got my trees up on dimensionals, and then I've embellished with the subtle shimmer sequins, and then used the words and pulled out the solid color from the background papers and added a little bit of twine in there. Now for our next project idea, I thought I'd use the Stamparatus this time. And I have one of the word stamps from the Whimsy or the Christmas tree stamps in there. And what you need is 2 and even 3 ink pads that are like the dark and the light version of the same color. So I have Blackberry Bliss and Rich Razzleberry. And what I'm going to do is ink up this stamp in Blackberry Bliss and stamp that down. Then I am going to wipe that off. Just that little bit. Let me move so we can see. And then I'm going to take my Stamparatus out of the spine there, and I'm going to ink it up now in Rich Razzleberry and stamp that. And I'm actually going to ink that again and stamp that twice. And because we're using the Stamparatus, we can do that, and it goes exactly on the same spot. But I'm going to move it down one more slot, stamp it, or ink it, and then stamp it. And then this time I'm not going to ink it again. And then I'm going to stamp again, and then I'm going to stamp again. So we've created an ombre look here. So we have the Blackberry Bliss, the very dark ink. We have 2 layers of the Rich Razzleberry, 1 layer of Rich Razzleberry, and then stamped off once and stamped off twice. So we get that nice ombre effect as a background. So here is a finished project using that technique. And for this one, I used Evening Evergreen and Soft Succulent and did exactly the same thing. And then I used the blending brush with the Soft Succulent along the side, and then did some Evening Evergreen trees, and then kept the embellishments quite neutral and simple with just some gold accents. So it's a very monochromatic card. And then inside just stamped, use that one more tree because you'll have one left over, and use that cute joy. And here is another version, but this time instead of keeping it monochromatic, I did more like a rainbow color. So I've got the Blushing Bride, Petal Pink, Soft Sea Foam, Pool Party, and Fresh Freesia. And then I cut trees out of the same colors, and then again kept my embellishing just whites and silvers, so that the colors were the star of the show. I quite like this one. It's a little bit different for a Christmas card. And then did the same thing on the inside, just in the different colors. Now let me show you a few other examples that I've made. So this one's actually been on my blog, and I do have a complete video of this one, how to do it start to finish. And this is the Fresh Freesia version. So this was my clean and simple card for a little challenge I was taking part of. So this is just a blending technique along the side using the masks and then accenting with those cute little trees. Then this one is another technique, and this is actually a project I'm going to be teaching in my upcoming online extravaganzas, and hopefully we'll be able to have at least one of them in person, but the rest of them will be online. So I won't go into too much detail about those because some people will be looking forward to doing those in a class. And this is one that I did as a swap when I was having an event with my team. So this one, I've used the solid trees and that tree with the detail in it, and just created a background, torn some paper to create some snowdrifts, and then used that cute reindeer punch and just tucked him in behind those trees. So it's a very not very colorful card, but it's a nice way to use those trees, even all in white. And then this card is a fun fold card, and I've used the designer series papers this time, which I love these, and that Merry Melody folder, and the snowflakes here I've tucked behind the tree, and the ribbon, this beautiful ribbon as a closure, and then it just opens up to a simple card, but just something a little bit different. And then last, this is another clean and simple card version. So this one, I've used the tiny tree die cut with our new craft paper, and then just accented with some red ribbon and kept it all quite simple, and did a little bit of embossing around the edges. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you love the Whimsical Trees and Christmas Trees stamp set and dies and suite as much as I do, and that this video gave you some inspiration. If you have any questions, please leave them below. If you have some nice comments, please also leave those. I do really love to hear from you. Then I don't feel like I'm just talking to myself. Also, if you would like to look at or order the bundle or the whole suite, the link is below this video. And thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate every single one of you. Have a good rest of your evening or day. Bye-bye.